Hope Channel, changing lives.
You are welcome, my dear lovely viewer. Today we are discussing how to prevent marital distress on Hope TV on Family Life. And just as we always do, we want to appreciate you so much that beginning of this year you have been with us. Even in the midst of COVID-19, you still make time to be with us. And so we appreciate you so much. Today we just want to go straight to our lesson, thanking God for what He has done for us as a family. In fact, God has been so good. Looking at the COVID-19 situation, and if we are alive, it is a miracle. And so I want you to enjoy the miracle God has given to you, giving Him appreciation, thanking Him on behalf of your family, and adoring your God that indeed He can continue to protect you and sail you through this COVID-19 moment. And if you have done that, I say thank you for doing that. Today I'm here with two important personalities. When you come to Southern Ghana Union Conference, we have a man in charge of family life. And as Adventists, we are entering into our Home and Family Life Week, which is next week. And so he is here with a wife to touch this important topic that I have given out: how to prevent marital distress and divorce. It is a subject that needs to be addressed because the stress in this world is causing families to take that dimension beside the plan of God for families. And I always say that globalization, socialization, civilization is causing family a lot. We moved from agricultural to industrialization, and then we are in technological world. This technological world is posing a lot of threats to families and to marriages. And so we are here this evening to see how best we can prevent the distress and divorce that marriage go through. And so with me here is Pastor Thompson, Pastor and Mrs. Thompson. They are all from Ghana Union Conference. As I said, Pastor Thompson is the Ghana Union Conference Director for Family Life, Home and Family Life. Pastor, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Mrs., you are welcome.
I'm
your usual Mrs. Betty Adam. I'm hosting this important guest this evening. They are very, very important. And so I want you to make a time with us, sit through the whole program, and let's see how best we can maintain our family and our marriages together. Pastor, how are you?
I'm fine.
Mrs., it's been long.
Yes.
We've missed you so much.
Praise.
I remember Pastor was the first person to open Family Life, and he ran away from me. So today I'm happy to have you once again on your own program, a program that you started with us. Yes, Pastor, I want you to talk a little about your role as Home and Family Life Director at the Union.
Well, as the Home and Family Life Director, it is our responsibility to see to it that in the various conferences, districts, and local churches, anything that will help make family life come alive in the church is put in place.
Okay.
So that the unity and love that should exist in the family can transcend even into the church. Because the family is the basic unit of the society. And if the family is enjoying peace, then the church will enjoy peace. The society in general will also enjoy peace.
Wow. So I just want to find out that now we are entering into Home and Family Life Week and the Adventists. I thought it should be a celebration. And I want to ask this question. Why did you choose to talk about marital distress and divorce?
Well, in the first place, Christian Home and Family Week is an annual event that comes in the second and third week of the month of February. And it gives us opportunity to reflect on the family and things that we need to do to remind us that we are indeed to experience and practice Christian family living to make our Christianity come alive in the home. Therefore, one of the challenges confronting our society today is the issue of divorce. And some years gone, you hardly hear of divorce even in the church. It is basically more of a societal challenge. But now you can't say so. And therefore we need to have time to reflect on this issue. Why has it now become so popular even among Christians? And how can we curb or reduce it completely in our society?
And so before we go in, I think before we can understand the distresses and then the divorce issue, we need to understand what marriage is really about. And so Pastor and Mrs. Thompson, I want you to take us to, when we talk about marriage itself, what is it?
Well, let me qualify it by saying Christian marriage.
Very good.
Christian marriage is the coming together of two individuals, a man and a woman, being born together by love, to come together, stay together, and then create and share their love and support each other in all things. And so it's something that first comes from mutual understanding and agreement based on love, that I love you, you love me, and therefore we want to live together and do things together as a couple.
As a couple. Mommy, well, how does the marriage begins?
Just as Pastor said, the basis is love. But sometimes infatuation plays a role that makes people think it's love. And because of that, people do not take time to assess what love really is. But based on their feelings and assumptions, they think they are in love, then they decide to come together. So marriages that start that way, from the word go, the premise is wrong. So sometimes you are not surprised that you see a lot of problems in our marriages today, even Christian marriages.
So we are saying that the love aspect of the marriage begins the marriage. Now, apart from the marriage, love, we love each other. What should be the next process? Let's take for instance that there is a genuine, because we want to walk ourselves through to know exactly how marriage is consummated. Then we'll be able to see whether it is in distress or not. So the process, how is it, and at what point that when it is missed, it is going to deform the foundation of the marriage?
Just to pick from where she just ended, you know, love is a principle. It's not based on feeling. And unfortunately, we don't seem to have a clear understanding of what love is. Just as you said, many times we are infatuated and we think it's love. There are other things that look like love, but love is deeper than infatuation. Now, genuine love comes as I care for you, you care for me. I'm ready to share with you, you're ready to share with me. My relationship with you gives me energy. I am ready, I accept you, you accept me. I respect you, you respect me. I'm ready to forgive you, should you step on my toes, and you're also ready to forgive me. We have gone through some ups and downs in our relationship. And based upon all this, we can say that it is not just infatuation or lust, but it is love.
Okay.
So sometimes we need to question or try the love that we profess to be very certain that we are not on the wrong premise.
Okay.
And that is one thing that, unfortunately, we don't have that time and patience. Because love develops and grows. And as we meet, I'm attracted to you. And therefore I think, oh, this lady, I think she meets the great standards or things I'm looking for in a woman. And you also see certain things in me that also attracts you. But as we come together, we need to ask, is it just the attraction or is it deeper? Because there may be changes. What attracts you today may not always be there.
Okay.
Will I still hold on to you? And that is where we need to build that growth in the love we profess. Then we can say that, oh yes, I know that having been a friend to this lady for this quite a number of months or years, I can certainly say that it is not just that I'm infatuated, but I genuinely love her.
Okay, so now we have gotten to the point where the family, we've now assessed ourselves. We know that yes, we will marry. From the point where the family agrees and where we say I do, can we get it wrong at that moment where it can really affect the marriage?
Of course. You see.
Yes, mommy come in, then pastor will come.
Yeah, just as you have posed the question, if the foundation is wrong, the whole building will suffer.
Yeah.
You see, your parents accepting that you marry does not necessarily mean that the two of you know each other very well.
Okay.
The mere fact that we are running away from church discipline, so we decide to marry, does not mean that we are in love or we understand what we are going into. The mere fact that we get somebody to counsel us, no matter the type of counseling we go through, does not mean that we may be ready or we are in love. Now, of late, a lot of people marry for various reasons.
Okay.
Some may be this same infatuation can make people who are not married start going to bed together. And because they have made that commitment, one party feels that, especially the woman, a woman feels that once you have slept with me, then we have to go ahead and marry. Meanwhile, maybe the gentleman you are sleeping with has not even thought of you being
the wife.
So if maybe pregnancy sets in, or because church leaders have seen or family members have seen that, oh, okay, I'm staying with my daughter, and most of the time she's not even in the house, she stays with you and all that.
And people have started gossiping about you in the church.
So you see, so many things push people into marriage. And no wonder the distress and the divorce rates that we are experiencing now, even in the Church of God.
Okay. Pastor, do you want to add something? But let me ask this. Can I say that the mere fact that we were getting along when we were courting means that when we get into the marriage, we will survive?
You know, one thing that we fail to recognize that when we are courting, I try to put my best foot forward and hold back the other. Because the one that I put forward is shining.
Okay.
But the one I'm holding back is gloomy. But I cannot stay in that same relationship when we are in marriage. Okay. When in marriage, I now need to walk side by side with you. So somehow the one I have been hiding will now come out so surface.
Okay.
And that is where then you start wondering, were you very sure that you saw this other aspect of me?
Yes.
And when you start having those doubts, what you need to build is there's some level of acceptance.
So we are saying that not all people expose their true character in the relationship.
In courtship, yes.
In courtship. So that can be a factor. So it means that the mere fact that we had a beautiful courtship does not guarantee our safety in the marriage. So
it may look beautiful in the eyes of third parties.
Okay.
People observing you. Oh, these people. But the two people playing the courtship, each of them know that they are hiding their true nature. You see, so courtship sometimes comes with a lot of pretenses, because you feel that when you bring out your true self, the other party might say that, hey, because I've seen this, let me just back out. And because you don't want any backing out, men are pretending and women are also pretending.
Okay. So there is a portion, I've heard that now the marriage vows, people have noticed that it is so like too much of a burden till they'll do us apart. And so it's being changed to till as long as we live. Pastor, let's analyze this. That can this be one of ways that people are hiding behind in order to have a wrong perception about marriage, and like it leads to divorce? Till death do us apart. No, that is a vow. So let's consider the marriage vow that we really have during the wedding time. How is it like?
Yeah, just as you said, you see, the marriage vow is so deep, and it's it's based on commitment. That I have committed myself to you, and you have also committed yourself to me. And until we are parted by death, we need to hold on to this commitment.
Okay.
It appears now that we see that commitment is too heavy a burden, because I can't wait, and you can't wait. So if there should be any misunderstanding or disagreement, that should be enough for us to call it a quit.
Okay.
And to add to what Pastor just said, no matter how we reorganize the words, if we are very serious with what we are doing, and especially now that social weddings have become so common that people even find it colloquial to even go to the church and make their vows, so they prefer
garden weddings
and other things, or beach weddings and everything. So long as you exchange some vows which intends your commitment, whether you say till death do us part or you don't say it, in another sense, you are saying it. You see, whatever words you say, oh, I will love you forever, that forever also means till death do us part. You see, but it's unfortunate that the whole exercise has become something like a ritual and so cosmetic. So people going into marriages now are now looking at the beauty aspect of the whole program.
The church will be decorated,
how my trail, you know, my wedding, how are they going to look like? Even people spend so much time learning how to dance.
With
you know,
so many.
Yes, at the reception, and I hear they meet severally to even practice the dance. These are the concerns, but not the vows that are going to be exchanged in the presence of God in front of the altar. And because of that, we go through it, and our interest is more of what we are going to do at the reception and how our guests will be served than the commitment we are making in the presence of God. And because the fear of God is somehow relegated to the background, you see, from the word go, we start the marriage
at the wrong notes.
On the wrong notes.
Wow.
And it's serious. And the more you talk to church people, the lesser they think about these things, because they feel, oh, that is the in thing. Now that is what is happening. You see, so I feel that as leaders of God's church, maybe we have a duty to perform.
Yes.
Because if we become blind to some of these things and we don't talk about them, it will be like blind people leading blind. They're people. Blind.
Wow.
So no wonder we are falling into the ditches that we are seeing.
Okay. So we are saying that the marriage vow is a very deeper one, that before even we think of hanging the flowers, and we should consider why we are saying this marriage vow.
Yes.
Then, Pastor, what is really the details to say till death do us apart? What is it like? How heavy is that word?
Now, let me start this with that. We need to understand that marriage is the intention of God. It was God who invented marriage. And it is the decision of God, the choice of God, that marriage will be a lasting relationship, not just a casual relationship.
Yes, one day affair.
Okay. A lasting relationship between a man and a woman to live together.
Okay.
Now, if we have that understanding from the start, then the flimsy reasons or excuses we give for calling for a divorce, we realize that are not weightier enough to bring about separation or break in the marriage vow.
Wow.
You see, but many times we don't see how valuable, heavy marriage itself is. So even before I make the decision that I'm going to marry you, I shouldn't just look at that excitement or satisfaction, but I should look at readiness to be with you in all times, through the thick and through the thin. Be by your side, whether you are sick or whether you are in health, whether there is poverty or whatever challenges may come our way, I must be decisive enough that this is somebody I want to share my life with for the rest of my stay on earth.
Mommy.
Yeah. Recently, I was chatting with a friend, and a friend was saying that he has assessed marriage now, not the intent of God.
Okay.
The intent of God is for a living and a cleaving.
Cleaving, yes.
You see, it's like metals that are
joined together. So dead.
Yes. You see, it becomes extremely difficult for those metals to separate. But the person was saying that marriage now has become more of a capitalized society invention, and it's now more of a business venture than something based on love. And in fact, after listening to him, I saw that in a way, now a woman is going to marriage. First and foremost, I'm not saying that when somebody is going to marriage, you shouldn't assess what you are going in for. But sometimes,
the money.
You see, the things we look for. Oh, what kind of work? Even men, formerly, men could easily marry women who they think
working.
Who are not working, who can they think can be good managers of their home. So they study you and they say that, oh, I'll go with you. But now, ask yourself, how many men will even want to do that? They are first looking at the school you have attended, the type of work you are doing, and how much support you'll be bringing.
A friend told me, me country, me pe oba warrior yes o. Me pe dia me packing me car no so packing the car. But you don't have anything and you are coming. It means that you are just coming to no. I want the one when I park my car. He also park a car. So it means that he himself is going. Another person said no. Hey, na means me nya the penny be am pe me so me ko worry sikani ba. Just as
you see, so marriage is becoming more of a business contract. So I'm going in. If it's okay, I'll stay. If I see that it will not benefit me,
I'll quit.
I'll quit. And when you assess marriages now, especially those that are heading towards divorce, you ask why. And sometimes some of the reasons that are given, then you ask yourself, did these people understand the vows on that day? And when counselors even say that we should be reaffirming, you see, reaffirming our vows on yearly basis or quarterly basis, if we really understand marriage and we go through these things, either mutually or even individually, no matter what happens, we'll fear the one who said, I hate divorce.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so let's now move to this situation. We want to find out what are the various causes of distresses in marriage. Distresses. I will not talk about the divorce. Let's see what puts marriage in distress condition.
I'll say that we started by talking about love being the first premise. And this love, as we live together, must grow. But unfortunately, sometimes, instead of growing, we see that the love is rather dwindling.
Okay.
Or sometimes very still. And these affect the relationship. The moment the love level is not growing, then there is danger.
Okay.
Now, this comes when, for instance, I feel that, oh, no, I'm not getting the right deal.
Okay.
Or you're taking advantage of me.
Okay.
Or I feel that, oh, what I was expecting is not what I'm seeing. Sometimes even it may surface when we are not able to even communicate well.
Very good.
And there is anger and insults and bitterness. All this affects the love and weakens the love.
Okay. So, Pastor, we will pause on this. That when we begin to insult, we begin to feel angry, our love weakens. So it means that we are heading towards distress. We want to go for a break, my dear viewer, and come back and then continue with other. We have a lot to give. Why marriages are in distress and what are causing these distresses. and why people want to divorce and what is causing the divorce and how we can prevent the divorce and the distress. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you are hard to yampa, if you have fashion mark on your first software, a deep kind will say, look myself on things. So, Santino Tank on your first software, the Enigian or Sebonian was a petty to just say, I saw the buy an engine fear pore. If you are country, what dear can you mean my tosum you know? Was that at a tea and minty near Cuckoo Dan, in my Bruno, near Busia or my money, sorry you. And pay a chef, when you made door, or she won't suffer so much from my soul. Mediative fiancé, that's what I say. You can't want boom, or the phone home, you want to do Madina Wayama and Chima. Your parents will have a share you home to ma, but the 4 days to a Juno was a Tino town, as a sorry for your bravo and Panon Pepe. Your 2 years after an internet couldn't be said, Omraj Media CB, so for Cossi Urap or say Kwame Prempe, or so for being for Kwame Kunin Boatin soap in the Nonia Babeta, Media Chibi. As child, I saw no so for or so for HD Aba, and I saw a man, I saw penny for Ina to Yensa Frey, as child is ya sorry man, and the Lafuina, say Mumrami and Page Media on Toma. Some Pekaibo Moon Chichi, more betting your friend and Bessie.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, as a soldier of the cross, you must take instructions from your commander-in-chief. You must live the way he wants to live his life. For the next 13 weeks, we'll go through the series, In His Identity I Stand. By the end of the series, we will identify who God's people are, what qualifies them to be his people, and the privileges of being God's people.
Soldier of the Cross, showing this and every Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, my dear viewer, for waiting for us. We are so grateful that you continue to join. If you are just joining us, we are on Hope TV Family Life, and we are discussing preventing marital distress and divorce. I'm your host, Mrs. Betty Adom. I have with me Pastor and Mrs. Thompson. Pastor Thompson is the Director for Home and Family Life for Ghana Southern Union. And so he's here to support us. And we want to remind you that come next week, SDA Church is beginning a full 1-week home and family life program, and we want everybody to join. Before we go, I want to announce our WhatsApp line for you to interact with us. So you can just join the discussion by sending your WhatsApp messages through 05596800066. 05596800066. You can discuss with us. What do you think about how we can prevent marital distress and divorce? Or if you have a question, you can just come in. And so we'll go to Pastor. We have a message that we want to discuss before we go on. He's saying that good evening from Elder Dr. J.B. Fojo of Penkwasi SDA Church. Thank you very much for another timely and very important topic. Glad to see and hear my old colleague on a church member. Okay, so may God continue to use this program to be a blessing to this church. Amen. Good evening, my people. God bless you. God bless your soul, Pastor Mrs. Thompson, for blessings from Otsi. Interesting topic. Another person, Augustine Fosu. Interesting topic. What about complex marriage ceremonies in the milieu of the economy? In the middle of this economic crisis we are experiencing in the world, how are these marriage ceremonies delay the youth from marrying in the church? How are these marriage ceremonies perpetuating fornication, leading to unplanned marriage? That is one. Last one we will read, then we will combine and then answer. God bless you all. Evangelist Drake Bright Mauli. God bless you all for a wonderful topic. I have learned a lot from it. We all know that from today onwards, we are going to prevent peer marriage. God bless you. And so, Pastor, the topic over here, the question over here is that in this challenging moment where we have financial crisis, how do we prevent that complex marriages? And this is leading to fornication and unplanned marriage. So how do we prevent it? But before we go to this very question, I want us to quickly outline about 2 or 3 things that causes marital distress, and then that causes divorce. Then we come to the prevention, because we need to, as a matter of fact, we need to keep the marriage to be able to be in line with the principles of God. So what are the distress? What causes the distress? Pastor said one. So I
also want to add money.
Money.
You see, it's always said that money is the root of all evil. Okay. But depending on how the love of money, the love of money.
That is Pastor talking.
Yes, the love of money. Okay. So sometimes the way you love money within your marital relationship can create distress. But if you become content and you allow money to play a simple role that it has to play, you always be happy. Then there's so much competition in the world, and it has entered our marriages too.
Okay.
Men and women, and especially women, somebody's husband is driving this type of car, and you also say you have this position, but what am I saying? Are we the only people who are poor? So much competition. Or somebody dresses this way, and you also want to dress that way, or force your partner to also dress that way. And then family influences, external family influences, and then lack of communication. Good communication. You see, we communicate. So
it's not just the communication,
but it should be good communication, because all couples communicate. All if I put the money on the table, it's communication. But it is not a good one. But one that can add flavor to the relationship is the good one. How close are you as a couple? Can you play together? Can you share jokes together? Can you even study the word of God together?
There are some homes you can't share jokes.
You can't even study the Sabbath school together.
No.
You see, you come out of the house, but you go close and the woman studies separate. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have our individual devotions and this thing with God. But even if you have done it individually, if you are good communicators, you want to discuss what you even studied and how you understood it. So before you even go to church, you have an idea what your lesson study really talks about. You see, so some of these things, you see, and schooling. Schooling too is bringing a lot of pressure.
Everybody wants to have doctorates.
Doctorates. So a woman is pregnant and a woman is still schooling. I'm not saying it's wrong. We are just looking at the things that bring the distresses. So definitely,
you don't have time for the man.
Schooling without pregnancy is not even easy. How much more you being pregnant and schooling, and maybe you have other children as well. Definitely, it will affect your emotions, it will affect you physically, it will affect you psychologically and all that. So sometimes if you are not careful, if we are not able to identify our stresses in order to manage them adequately, we'll find a marriage, because when two elephants fight, they said the grass suffers. So it's the marriage that will suffer. Wow. You see, wow. there are too many stresses around us. Let's just identify them. Is it about money? Woman is going, man is going, everybody is on the run. Sometimes we all live, and it's ourselves that will even wake our children up and dress them, and then maybe if we have hired a taxi or a driver to be picking our children, so our children even go to school and come back without the two of us even seeing how they went and how they came back, because we are doing what? We are chasing money. You see, and if we don't understand the effect that it can bring to the marriage and to control it, by the time we realize, we have gotten to a stage where we cannot do anything about the distraction we have caused ourselves.
Pastor, most of Mommy have said a lot, but there is this question I want to ask before we go on. She spoke about praying together as something that can help to reduce the stress in the marriage. But let's take for instance that I have prayed, my husband have prayed, we will do family devotion. Do we need to pray as couples before we go and do family devotion again?
Oh, okay, you've prayed, your husband has prayed.
Individually.
Now, if there is time, but since we are also
A couple.
Fighting against time, if we have done our individual ones, and we can have one family with the children together and we pray, I think that's, but if you have some more time as a couple, the two of you can pray also, fair enough. But if there isn't that time, at least the family one can take care of that.
Very good. Now let's come to, so how do we prevent these distresses and these divorce? Because we have spoken about money, chasing jobs, chasing work, and how do we then prevent marital distresses and divorce?
You know, marital distresses come gradually, and before we realize, they may even start as something very small, very minor in the relationship, but with time may start building up. Let's say, for instance, perhaps I have said something, you feel hurt.
Yes.
The right thing for me is to apologize. And perhaps I may not even be aware. So it is for you to talk, let me know that what I said is not something that you've taken it kindly. So that we can talk about it, and then I will have opportunity to apologize. But if you keep this pain in you, it will start building up. The other things will start coming in. And before you realize, now the way you used to see me, you will not see me in that person anymore.
Okay.
And we need to know that then there is some separation that is now emerging between us. So it may start from a psychological point, and gradually it may even become even physical.
Yes.
And when we don't still take note, then gradually we will see that we will be moving away from each other, and then there will be so big a gap between us that we think we can't close it. So we just have to.
Okay. Okay. So, Mommy, Daddy has talked about closing the gap, resolving issues. What else can we do?
We need to, like I said in my earlier presentation, identify. You see, you cannot solve a mathematical problem without understanding it. So if it's a formula you have to use so that you can solve maybe the area of a circle or a triangle, look for the formula and use the formula and you get your answer right. In the same way, sometimes we tend to pretend, especially in Christian relationships, we tend to pretend that everything is okay, just because we want people to think or believe that we are doing the right thing. You see, earlier you asked about prayer, and Pastor said, if you do your individual one, then you add a family one. Sometimes you also have to identify, even from the spiritual side, that if we say we are a couple and we do individual prayers, and we also know that in family worship, maybe in the presence of the children and everything, it's not everything that we can. You need to identify that. Could it be that because the two of us do not make the time together? It's true that there is rush hours for work and things, but you need to still do what? Find time if it's important for you. So you identify the problem. You identify that it's because I'm not having this formula. That is why I'm not able to solve this thing. In the same way, are we a couple? Are we the heads of the family? And heads of the family, what are we doing together apart from sex? You see, then you plan, you sit and say that, oh, because of how we rush, and because of how we also come back, and the time we give to our televisions, or to this or to that, we are not making time alone, the two of us alone, where we can be very intimate with our spiritual relationship with God, until you do that. And this applies to all other problems. You see?
Mommy, you have brought an issue, intimacy. Can hugging, I'm talking about real hugging. Can we use hugging to prevent divorce?
Yes. You see, when you hug somebody you love, the attachment alone brings some bonding. And sometimes you hug your partner or you hug your child and you separate and go your separate ways, maybe your tasks for the day, and you still feel the touch. Yes. But where people are together and they can't even hug, it means there's a problem. Despite our upbringing or our socialization process and everything, when you love somebody, it shouldn't be just when we want to. Even
the mere fact that the eye clicked should pull the two of you together. To hug.
Yes. And if we are not doing that, let's find time and do that.
We have some questions, but my last one before we go to the question, listening to each other. What role does it play in our marriages? Can that also be used to prevent divorce, or can that also lead to divorce? Listening to each other.
Listening to each other, just as I was saying, if there is a problem, I must be able to make time to listen to you. You may have some grievance that is eating you up. I need to make time to hear you. What has led to this? Sometimes it's just a matter of giving you that opportunity to express, may be enough to let you calm down and then be yourself. But it appears most of the time that we are too busy and we assume we know, and we don't, sometimes we even downplay each other's feelings. And so we don't see the need of sitting, listening to each other. And it's so important that when you are hurt and someone just gives you audience, half of the problem is solved.
Very good.
And therefore, in marriage, if there is a problem and I can just sit down to listen to you, to pour your heart. Maybe you can talk and talk and talk, which I may call, in quotes, I'm trying to.
And you see, the word of God, also says that my sheep know my voice.
Good.
So if you are with somebody and you love the person, or you just like the person's voice sounds sweet in your ears. So if as a couple staying together and you can't listen to your partner, it means there's a problem.
Wow.
It means
this one talk this way, another every day here.
It means there's a problem. And you have to work on it.
Very good. Very good. Let's go to our questions now. He's saying that I have personally experienced about Madame First submission. I wasn't ready to marry her, but pregnancy set in. I have to be forced to avoid disgrace. Richard from Makati. And so this person, the foundation is wrong. And so anything at all can push them. Or they can still work it out for it to work.
You can still work it out.
Very good.
You see, as we say, love grows. Now I didn't allow love to develop before committing myself in having an affair with you, which has now led into pregnancy and to childbirth or whatever. But this is what I have gone in for. I must be able to determine and convince myself that, yes, this child that we have brought into the world, I want this child to feel loved. And therefore, whatever problems I still see in this lady, because I have gone ahead, I need to do all I can to hold on to her so that this child can have that parental care and love he or she deserves.
Okay.
So it is, there must be that conscious effort that this is the person, I have gone ahead.
Yes.
It was a mistake.
Yes.
But that shouldn't be room enough for me to divorce or misbehave.
To misbehave.
No, I must be determined that yes, I have made a mistake.
But I will work for the marriage to work.
I will accept her as she is. And she must also be able to accept me as I am, with all my weaknesses and my shortcomings. Yes. And then we can work it.
And to add to it briefly, it's just like the schooling thing I was talking about. You want to make your grades. Maybe you are in the university. You entered the university so that you can come out with a good certificate. And there's a particular subject that is worrying you. If you really want to get the certificate, whatever you do to pass that one too, you do. In the same way, this man or woman has become part of you, whether you started well or you didn't start well. But in order for you to get a good certificate, you need to do all you can to love the subject so that you can have time for it and to pass it.
Very good. Very good. Mommy, it's a practical way, and I'm ready with. There is a question here. He's saying, my lady parents, I think he was married, so the parents of the lady are someone to represent my marriage without my parents' approval or knowledge. Is this marriage valid as customary marriage? I was there alone. My lady parent wants to do the engagement fast so that the pregnancy won't show up, but my parents were dragging their feet. So he's saying that, is this a good customary marriage?
He contributed to that.
The question is, when they were marrying, I think the lady was pregnant and wanted to cover up. So the parents of the lady asked somebody to stand in for the boy's parents. So his parents were not there.
The point is, where were the boy's parents?
They were dragging their feet.
They were dragging their feet.
So they wanted to do it fast, so they just asked somebody to represent the boy's parent, and then they did the marriage, the customary. So he's asking, is it a right marriage?
At least for him to accept whoever stood in, he has also contributed.
Okay.
Because yes, my parents can be alive, but maybe just as we normally call it, Accra marriage. I think my parents, where they are, is too far. So instead of going all the way or bringing them, I feel, oh, okay, I have some friends who can join me perform the marriage.
But that one, I think the parents must give their consent to the marriage. But this one, the parents were not aware. And he brought in people to just help him to get married.
But he also consented.
Yes.
If the lady's parents are saying your parents are dragging their feet, we want our daughter to be married. So we are asking Mr. X and Mr. Y to be your parent. You consenting to that, you have also agreed that Mr. S and Mr. Y can stand in place of your parents.
But those people or whoever stood in, the person is not a parent. It's just like these arrangement marriages that are done at Registrar General, that sometimes people even pick people around. Those marriages in Israel sense are not marriages.
You see, but the point here is that the moment you are above 18 and you are entering into marriage, legally, it is not whether your parents accept the marriage or not.
Okay.
So you cannot say that because the people who stood in are not your parents, that marriage is invalid.
Okay.
You are above 18. You are mature enough. Traditionally, it is right for your parents to be behind the marriage.
Okay.
But you can also take that initiative and go and contract marriage.
Okay. Then, Pastor, my next question is, I think there could be challenges that can affect the marriage. Couldn't it be?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay, so let's go. Because of time, I think we are almost...
Even there, I feel in our cultural setting, the boy must go back, not annulling the marriage, but go back to the parents to apologize and have their blessing.
Okay.
Because parental consent in our traditional marriage is very, very important.
Thank you so much. I think we are far behind time, and I want to thank all my viewers who brought their questions and their contribution. In fact, we have enough contribution over here. And some are thanking my madam and pastor. They feel that they are in classroom. There is one who said that I'm just about to marry, and this one is more than a counseling. So we want to thank you so much for your time, for giving us this all information that we need to support our families. Going forward, we believe that families are going to avoid those petty stresses in order for us to stay safe. We want to promote this book, and I think Pastor Thompson is here, so I will let him do the promotion himself. This is the book.
Thank you. This book, Hope for Today's Family, is a book written by Willie and Ellen Oliver, the directors of family ministries of the General Conference. And in fact, they've really done a wonderful job in putting together this small book addressing various issues of the family and how these issues can be handled from the Christian perspective. It is a book that we want every Adventist home to have. Not only that, but at every Adventist should have copies that we can also give to others to bless their marriages.
Yes.
Now the price is 3 cedis for a book, for each copy, and we are proposing that every Adventist should have 3 copies, 1 for your family and 2 to bless other families. And that, so if you give 10 cedis, you have a 1 cedi balance at least still from your money, and still you can touch other families and bless them. with this book, 2 years ago, we launched it and used it. But we realized that we have not really digested the book as we should. And that's why we are revisiting the book again to make sure that we have these books in every home, every Adventist home, and also have copies in other homes to be a blessing to those families.
Thank you.
So please make sure you acquire your copy.
Thank you, Pastor. And there is this announcement too, because we are beginning the Family Life program on Saturday. Pastor Emmanuel Geza will be having a session on YouTube, and so Hope Channel will be streamlining life. So everybody who loves our program, who is watching Hope TV, you can go onto the YouTube for you to also get messages from there. And Hope is also reaching out to you. We have launched what we call Club 100. And so if you have any amount, you can contribute 100 Ghana cedis every month to this Club 100. And we appreciate you so much. We want to see how best Hope TV can bring a lot of quality programs on set. So thank you so much for staying with us. I'm your usual host, Mrs. Betty Adom. Until we come your way next week, we want you to stay safe, observe all COVID-19 protocols, and beware that God loves you. We want to assure you that Family Life is your program. Support us financially too. Thank you.
This is Vincent Kobina Saki, a 20-year-old final year student at the Apam Senior High School. Vincent has dreams and aspirations of growing up to be one of the best graphic designers and sketch artists in Ghana. But unfortunately, this dream may be cut short if we do not come in immediately to help save his life.
Me Vincent na mami. Last year, I started there with breed. Na ye ko hospital ko twa scan. Wo wi na che there o ye brain tumor. Na time scan ben. Nzama ye about to turn no ye 44,000. 44,000 no ye scan no mu ye du. Na adeno so o ye mprempren yala. Onyi de ya twentwen. Nti ye sra man for watching ye no what say. De wo boboa hen. Me ye ntum ye dem operation man. Madam Asi.
Vincent is such a gifted boy with a lot of vision, and seeing him going through such pain, it's heartbreaking. One of the things that he usually experiences is loss of consciousness and severe headache. Therefore, I want to appeal to you, anyone watching us, that please come to Vincent's aid. Your support is much needed so that we can operate him as soon as possible. We need these funds within a week to get Vincent well on his feet and to also be able to do what God has given him to do. Thank you.
I'm Vincent Saki. I'm currently studying visual arts, and I want to further my education after the senior high school to the tertiary to be one of the best artists ever, and hope with God everything will be possible.
I don't find Mosha, Mr. Vincent, I am an Anna. Papa Mutofi, Medina Mistram, Moncha Yamin, Namon what? No, I know pressure. No, I know pressure, Uncle Pombe Stram. No, what boy when that baby I'm weighing skate figure, rather by someone name. In a Mistram, Bob and Moyamam, with Jesus Nidim.
So whatever the Lord impresses upon your heart to help save the life of our dear brother Vincent, please go ahead and send that support to us immediately so that the surgery can be performed. The mobile money numbers are as follows: 024 143 1521. Again, 024 143 1521. And then 020 821 4567. 020 821 4567. The account name is Ruth Ajua Aka. May God bless you so much for deciding to support our brother Vincent in such a critical moment of his life.